Hey folks, Rich here at RCINFORMER.com. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this video on the giant FMS 1700mm wingspan F4U Corsair. This one's available at MotionRC, and this is simply just an awesome airplane. It is huge. Nearly 67-inch wingspan for this thing, guys. Can't wait to get this one together and get it out to the field for you. Also, check the links at the end because there's definitely going to be a flying demo on this. And if it needs a building guide or build tips or something, I'll make a separate video on that for everybody to check out. A 50, 60, 300 kV brushless outrunner in this thing, powering it. A giant 17-inch scale 4-bladed propeller, which is just simply awesome. 85 amp ESC with a 5 amp BEC controlling everything. And it has a ton of servos. In fact, I'm having a hard time finding out, reading from the box, how many are in it exactly. But all the flight controls are run with 25 gram servos. So there's also 17 gram and 9 gram servos throughout this whole thing. And I'll point that out as we get into the build guide. Runs on 6 cells, guys, 33 to 4,000 milliamp. And simply an awesome airplane. Electric rotating retracts as well. And a full light package on this thing. The beauty is you only need a 6-channel radio to run it. Also, guys, it has all 6 flap segment panels that operate on this thing, just like the real thing. Anyway, guys, without any more talking, let's go ahead and get the box top off, and we'll take a look inside. With the box top removed, you can see how nicely FMS packaged the airplane. Everything's very well secure inside the foam crate and very well padded in here. They used bubble wrap everywhere they needed, and everything's taped in position. You can see how huge this airplane is just by the size of this this one wing panel. Let's go ahead and get all the parts out, lay them out for you, and take a closer look. Here's the layout of all the parts that came out of the box. I'm very impressed with the packaging on this airplane. All foam airplanes usually get a little bit of scuffing or a little bit of damage from the box. This plane had hardly none, and definitely FMS has done an outstanding job packaging everything. They use thick foam. Everything had its own bag, and the plane is pretty much completely unscarred when it comes out of the box. I'm real impressed with how they packaged everything. Now, here's pretty much everything that was in the box with the exception of the other wing. I just put one wing in the picture so I can get everything in one frame. But starting at the top is the fuselage. With the motor, ESC, tail retract, servos, everything's already mounted in it. The main wing panel, everything's all hinged with foam hinges, all the servos mounted already. Both your tail fins here. 2 tubes of contact cement, one with a very fine point and one with a large point for gluing the larger items. Some missile and bomb hard points to hold everything. The prop blades, spinner and hub assembly, just a general parts bag with horns, clevises, rods, things like that. You can see down here the 2 main spars, which are actually 12mm or 1/2-inch spars, really thick wing spars. You can see the missiles here and here that you can add if you want or you don't have to, and the 2 drop tanks. Really thorough kit, and very impressive the quality of these parts. Now let me give you a closer look at each part and give you some detail and show you exactly what each of them look like. The first part up here, folks, I got the main wing panel, the other main wing panel, which I didn't show you earlier, so you can get an idea what this thing looks like. Very big, folks, and very impressive, very well made, and again nearly flawless right out of the box. I mean, it just really is a nice, shiny, clean wing without any scarring or denting of any kind. You can see here the spar pockets for the 2 large fiberglass spars that join the wings together. Again, this is a glueless design, so you can just really bolt these things together. Nice feature FMS added for this big warbird is sort of this sort of gang box here, where it's sort of done in a bus system. And you can see right here, everything's already plugged in for you, for the LEDs, ailerons, flaps, gear, doors, and everything. It's all plugged in and ready to go for you, and all you need to do is plug this into a central sort of junction box in the center of the airplane. So this thing is meant to go together at the field and disassemble very easily. You can see the LED light here for the landing light and the leading edge of the wing. As we get to the tip here, You can see the wingtip light. FMS has always done a really nice job in hiding their wires, and you can see how they have these specially designed colored tapes to run along here and cover up all those wire channels. Now for the aileron is an EPO hinge, very durable. All the flaps have these very nice flush mounted plastic hinges there, or nylon hinges I should say, that are very durable, and you can see it has this mechanism here that joins the outboard and the middle flap segment. So you can see this thing has 3 working flap segments driven by 2 separate servos. Now again, for the primary flight controls like the ailerons, elevator, and rudder, large 25-gram servos here, none of the 9-gram stuff on this thing, and all metal gear servos as well. And you can see the flap servos are all 17-gram, and you can see they're all metal gear servos as well. Just a real nice job mounting these with some nylon plates in there that are glued in place. Now this little panel removes with a screw, and you can see right down here these 2 panels. These are the missile hard points basically. So you can just leave this panel here if you don't want any missiles, or replace it with that one and with the missiles on it, and just screw them on with 1 screw. So it's really easy to get your missile packages sort of on and off the airplane. Retract unit is already installed with the doors and everything. We'll get those out after we plug everything in. But as you can see, folks, very nice wing design, very sturdy. You can see right here where the 2 screws are going to go through, and they do tap into metal, and you can see where the doublers go over here as well. Overall, very impressive, folks. Can't wait to get this one together for you. The next main part up is the fuselage. This thing is just stellar. You can see compared to my hand just how big this airplane is. It's kind of tough to hold here in front of the camera, but just to give you an idea, here's the huge motor inside here, the 50-60 300 kV brushless outrunner, and you can see the huge 10mm shaft that this motor runs on and the prop fits on. Lots of cooling holes all throughout this airplane, guys. The nose has lots of cooling ports that run through there, and it runs nicely all up through the back here with huge cooling holes in the back of this plane. They've definitely thought a lot about cooling this thing off. But very nice quality throughout this entire thing. Now, as we roll onto the underneath here, you can see the servo tray, which we'll look at here in a bit. And also where the wings mount, as I discussed before, there's pretty large brass threads down in there. So we got metal threads to mount this wing on, which definitely A+. It definitely beats when they go into plastic sometimes. Now let me maneuver this thing around a little bit here. It's kind of big to maneuver this thing, but you can see the tail wheel unit and everything's all installed in there, moving tail hook and everything. One thing they went a step further with on this airplane was adding blue clevises to the airplane instead of just having white or clear ones. They definitely have thought about the color of this airplane. You can see where the elevator mounts here. Again, metal threads down in here, guys, to mount the elevator. So real impressed with that. Lots of holes here for the antennas and so forth. Lots of detail. Very detailed pilot as well. You can see he's got his sunglasses and he's all belted in and ready to go. As I move along here to the cockpit here, folks, you can see the instrument panel has a significant amount of detail in it as well. Now, to get in this thing to your battery compartment and servo compartment, you just pull up on this little piece of tape. FMS is using these tapes for everything quite a bit, and it's got sort of a tongue and groove design. I usually like to see the tongue and groove on the front and the magnets in the back, but this seems to be pretty solid, and you can see it's got huge magnets right here up front. Now, as I was talking about cooling before, you can see the 85 amp ESC in here, and there's just a huge hole that comes from the engine right over the ESC and runs all the way to the back out those cooling holes you can see out the underneath. So they've done just a stellar job with the cooling on this airplane. Nicely mounted battery strap for your 6-cell pack. You can see your Dean's connector soldered on here well. And you can see these gang adapters here, these multi-port adapters here, where the wings are going to plug right into this, guys. So it's really nice. You don't have to plug in all these individual wires and everything. They're all set up on sort of a gang bar type thing. So really, really nice. You can see here the rudder and the elevator servos, again, 25 gram Metal Gear servos in this thing on a really nice tray with easy connectors. So they've just done a stellar job in producing this thing. I'm real impressed with the quality of it, and especially the size of those servos. I really like the fact that they used a large servo. You can see how nicely that the canopy goes on and magnets in position. Definitely, folks, A+ from FMS for doing such a stellar job with this fuselage. Here's a quick look at the vertical stabilizer and rudder and horizontal stabilizer and elevator. Again, flawless out of the box. These things are very nicely molded, and the finish is just fantastic. Foam hinges all the way around in them, and as indicated before, metal threads in all of these, folks. So the elevator is going to go on this airplane. Screws are going to either go down through I think they go through the top, and they thread into metal back here. And then the rudder goes on, and then up through the bottom, screws, 3 machine screws are going to go into metal as well. So you really can't beat the design of this thing, all glueless, and everything's into metal threads. Now, you can see where they ran the spar right through here, so there is a tough, either a fiberglass or a carbon spar running through the middle of this thing, and just an excellent job. You can see the doublers in here. Here's where the screws are going to go through the top side with these doublers and right into those metal threads as we talked about. So anyway, guys, just outstanding parts on this airplane. Here's a quick look at the propeller blades on this airplane with the Hamilton standard decal. You can see applied right to it. Really tough, very rigid propeller. No doubt made out of some glass reinforced plastic of some sort. And the hub is the same way. It's very, very rugged, very tough feel. They also give you a replacement blade in case you do break one. It is a 4-bladed propeller, so they give you 1 spare prop blade. Very nice prop and spinner. When this thing goes together, it's 17 inches, so definitely a huge propeller for this plane. Here's a quick look at the missiles and the drop tanks on this airplane. I took a second and just kind of threw the missiles on here, and you can see where there's a single screw design here, and the panels that are actually on the bottom of the wing are meant to come off, and with 1 screw you can go ahead and put the entire missile panel, the missile rack on this airplane at one time with just 1 screw. And same thing pretty much with the drop tanks. You do have to glue the hard point on there, but once you do, you can see that your drop tanks will snap on and off as you want to. So if you want to really static display the model or fly the airplane with the drop tanks, you can just snap them on, and if you want to take them off to go fly it, so you don't have the extra drag, they just snap off. So very well thought out ordnance and drop tank package. They come on and off with great ease. Here's a quick look at the spars and the glue that come with this airplane. They're definitely noteworthy. You can see that these are huge spars. I believe they're fiberglass, but they're really rigid, as if, you know, they're carbon fiber. So maybe there's some sort of white carbon fiber, but very tough, and they're a 1/2 inch, folks. So I measured them at 12.5 millimeters or 1/2 inch. And real solid. One goes up front, one's for the front. The longer one goes in the front section of the wing, and the shorter one goes in the back. They join the wings together. One thing I did that I would recommend is just measure the center point and mark your center point on these before you put them in, because I think they do go in a little bit farther than halfway, but very solid wing spars. The glue is worth pointing out because you will use this on a couple of small things on the airplane, but they give you 1 large tube with a lot of glue in it, and they give you a smaller one for a little bit more precise application, and I've used this on other models. I noticed it first with the Rock Hobby Strega from MotionRC as well, and this is an awesome dropper tip. You do have to puncture the glue to get it started, but this is outstanding. I love this, actually, this glue tube, because it really lets you precisely apply contact cement without getting it all over the place. Really nice stuff FMS is providing with these airplanes. The last parts bag up to show you, folks, is this just this giant bag of screws. You see the wing doublers here. They give you 2 sizes of screwdrivers. Really nice for the toolbox. They give you sort of the standard small one, and they also give you this larger one for, no doubt, these wing screws. You can see these wing screws look like they're at least 4, probably 5 millimeters, folks. I think they're 5s, actually. Very tough, very big wing bolts on this airplane. Another nice thing, all the antennas and pitot tubes and probes and things, and heck, even the horns, they molded everything out of blue, guys. You can see the horns, the clevises, everything they molded out of blue. Really nice. A+ for that, guys, because then you can put this thing together, the whole thing looks blue, and you don't have a white connector or a clear connector or something that I usually end up painting those kinds of things to clean up the details. But A+, folks, on the hardware that they supplied with this airplane. Last but not least, included with the kit is the instruction manual. It is very good English, folks. Very easy to get through, and as I went through this manual before I started talking about it here, no doubt a very simple, mostly bolt together assembly process. This thing should go together very quickly. Once again, check out the links at the end of this video. I'll have a flight demo for sure, but if this thing doesn't need a building guide, which possibly it doesn't, I may just have a small tips thing, or maybe even nothing at all, because it does look like this thing goes together well without anything. You can see here the multiple multi-connectors, they call them, and how you join all the wings to the rest of the electrical system in the plane. Really nicely thought out and very good instruction manual. I really like this thing. As we go on through to here, again, the most important thing in most of these manuals is the center of gravity. 120 millimeters after the leading edge where the wing meets the fuselage there, or right up at the tip of the leading edge, it looks like. I'll check that out. If I find that's different than that, I'll report that either in the build guide or the flight demo, and also an ESC programming manual. Definitely something you want to keep. FMS has been providing this. Let you reprogram your ESC if you need to reprogram it for any reason at all. They also show you all the parts here in the back, all that you can order if you need a replacement part or something. Anyway, guys, really super nice kit here from MotionRC and FMS. Again, be sure to check out the links at the end for the building guide. Again, if there is one. If I feel it needs something, I'll make something for it. And also the flight demo, check that out. There'll be a link at the end for that. Thanks for checking out this video once again, guys. Thanks for checking out RCINFORMER. Check out this model at motionrc.com. And as always, we'll see you next time.